Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this special live edition of the storm coverage here. We are talking about several different things here this evening. We have the ice storm up here over Pennsylvania and Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, and also can't forget about the severe weather threat here in the warm sector of this storm system. The National Weather Service has now upped to a 5% chance of tornado risk here in portions of northern Tennessee and southern Kentucky here, Bowling Green area, which was our target that we posted about this morning. We kind of figured that our target area would be this area of the state between Nashville and Bowling Green, and it looks like the National Weather Service agrees with us now on that as well. So get ready. We will start this episode here real soon. The storm coverage is going to be pretty impactful here, so we have a lot to cover here in a very short amount of time. So get ready and enjoy the coverage. Good evening, everybody. I am Andrew Houston with Myrtle Beach Aware, and welcome to this live storm coverage. I know this is not Myrtle Beach, but there's not a whole lot going on here in Myrtle Beach, and we want to talk about what's going on around the country. We do have family members and friends in some of these areas that we're going to be discussing tonight, so we want to make sure that we hit those as well. We do have several viewers that are very active on our page that live in some of these areas as well. So we want to make sure that we're here for all of them and all of you as well. So, and if you're not impacted by any of this, that's a great thing to hear. And we hope that you can enjoy the coverage just because you enjoy weather and storms. So we're going to kind of dive right on in here. We're going to switch over to our radar view. What we are looking at is the national radar here. You can see we've got around Portsmouth, Ohio. There's pretty heavy rain falling in those areas. We've got the tornado risk down in this area here. So we definitely want to talk about some of that here this evening, as well as the big picture item here, which is definitely going to be the ice impacts in portions of southwestern Pennsylvania, West Virginia, eastern West Virginia. We've got all the way down into Virginia. We've got Maryland. There's a large swath now. Washington, D.C., Baltimore is all in this now for pretty significant icing overnight tonight. So we definitely want to hone in on some of this and kind of talk about some of this. So we're going to start here with, actually, we'll turn our attention here to the severe weather risk. The National Weather Center has now, or Storm Prediction Center actually has now upped this area here to 5% for the tornado risk here. There's a slight risk of severe thunderstorms in south central Kentucky to far northern Tennessee. Okay, so a couple of tornadic storms along with isolated damaging winds, large hail will probably be possible overnight into the early morning hours. So we're talking about very nocturnal storms here. We've watched these storms kind of take shape over the afternoon and kind of work their way through. So I want to bring up my map here. We're going to switch over here to local radar and take a peek at what is going on in those areas. So let's we'll start here with the Nashville radar, and I lost my map. Let me go in here to my controls here and see if I can get them maps back up here. Switch back over. That's okay. So we lost our cities there. I did something to lose my cities, but that's okay. We're going to keep moving along here. So we'll switch back over single site radar. So here we are looking at the severe weather potential here as the radar is loading. We are going to switch. I had everything set up for storm mode, or for winter weather mode, but I want to switch back over here to look at these severe storms that are starting to take shape here. Pretty high storms there. So if we take a peek here, you can see all of these storms. Nothing at this moment is severe warned or tornado warned at all, but we did kind of watch these kind of take shape throughout the day. As we've kind of moved through the evening, you can see heavy lightning in the areas. So not seeing anything right now that's really noteworthy as far as needing to be discussed. Just pretty much some heavy showers and thunderstorms. There's a little bit of lightning associated with some of these cells as they're working through those areas. So we expect to see some more rapid development of some thunderstorms as we go through the overnight hours here. But not a whole lot. We'll go to the Memphis radar here. Not a whole lot coming behind it as of right now. There are some very discrete cells down here, but not a whole lot there as far as severe weather at this point, which is a good thing for them. So we will switch back over here to our national radar and take a peek at what is going on for West Virginia and Virginia and those areas. So when we start talking about this ice storm here, so we are looking at areas, these orange shaded areas are our moderate risk of a 1/4 of an inch plus of ice during the overnight hours. We're also looking here at our slight risk of 0.25 inches or more in these elevated areas here. Most likely these higher areas are going to be the mountains of West Virginia, the Appalachian Mountains. So, and then we get all the way up into areas like Altoona, Pennsylvania. They're getting us a substantial amount of ice over throughout the evening tonight. Now, what does this mean as far as impacts go? So let's take a peek at impacts. So impacts here for ice in these areas. So minor impacts here as you get into these areas here. Moderate impacts. What does moderate impacts mean? Expect disruptions to daily life, hazardous driving conditions, use extra caution while driving. Closures and disruptions to infrastructure may occur. So, we want to take a peek. You're seeing a big swath of moderate impacts, minor impacts when you start getting into areas such as York County, Pennsylvania, and Lancaster County, Pennsylvania as well. And then as we kind of move a little bit further down, you got winter weather area here where the driving conditions become treacherous. So they want to remind you to drive carefully. So as far as impacts goes, power outages, tree limbs broken, things like that. So we expect to kind of see some power outages kind of ramp up over the next 12 hours or so. We'll start to see some of those power outages popping up on the screen. As of right now, I don't see any power outages as of the current moment, but we'll turn off these winter weather, turn that off. Nothing as of right now. So let's switch over here to the winter weather radar, and I might switch into local radar here as this national can get a little messy when you start talking about individual places here. But weather is starting to kind of switch over now. The temperatures are falling as we get in through the evening, and you can really start to see that transition from rain to the freezing rain. So you look at these portions here, some of these areas are seeing some snow, mixed precipitation. We've got snow falling up around and near Altoona, Somerset. We've got snow falling, so up here near Altoona, a little bit further north of there. Some of that may be a little bit of a lake effect type snow band working through these areas up here. So Lancaster County, Pennsylvania is probably going to be starting to see a little bit of snow out ahead of this. They're already seeing, if you look in around this area here of the northeastern portion of the county, they're starting to see some of those snow bands start working through. So definitely want to keep an eye on the snow here. I think what's going to happen here is throughout the evening and overnight hours, that snow is slowly going to transition to that freezing rain. So you'll probably have some freezing rain to deal with in Lancaster, York, Cumberland County, Dauphin County, those areas of Pennsylvania as well. So as far as, let's switch here to our local radar and kind of hone in a little bit more as far as what's happening out here. We'll switch to we'll try and see what Pittsburgh's going to give us here as far as local radar. So, the national radar kind of picks up a little bit, showing that it was a little bit more freezing rain kind of mixing in a little bit farther west. But at this current moment, not really the case at all. And actually local radar starts to pick up on some of that snow being a mix as well. So we'd like to know what you're seeing if you're in any of these areas. Please comment and let us know what you're seeing as far as, sleet, freezing rain, and snow, or just plain rain. So we definitely want to know what's going on. We do have some power outages. That's a slight risk there. If some ice, they hit that area. Looked like it was a power outage. What's this here? Here's some power outages in Vinton County, Ohio. So not sure what that's associated with. Might be associated with some of this freezing rain. Not quite sure there on that. I would assume it's probably associated with that freezing rain. Right now, 426 customers out of power. There. As far as other power outages so far, not much that we can see here, so that's a very good thing. as we kind of move through. Real quick, if you guys are following us here and watching our stream on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We definitely could use the support. That helps us. If you like our video and like our streams on there, comment a little bit for us. That helps us out drastically with hitting the algorithm so we can get more viewers and get more people interested in what we have to offer. Real quick here, just going back here to check on local radar in Tennessee and Kentucky. Switch over to the Nashville radar here. So again, and not a whole lot, nothing severe, nothing warned yet. So that's a very good thing as we are kind of moving through the evening here. So so far, so good in Kentucky and Nashville. They did have some weather advisories a little while ago for some cells that were incorporating some pretty heavy hail. So they have since expired. And I'm not really seeing any cells here that really are showing any kind of hail mixed in with them at the current moment, but that can change really quickly in an environment like this. So definitely want to keep your eyes on the sky out there and have a plan for tornadoes or severe weather. So definitely want to make sure you have a plan. Switching over here. We'll switch back to winter weather. And as you can see, a lot of heavy rain up in these areas, working their way over towards this freezing area. So this is still kind of a little bit of a warm sector, temperatures in the upper 30s. Nothing in the 40s, which is pretty much normal for this time of night. But you're starting to see that transition over to that mix. Temperatures 32 degrees, 25 up here. We've got 25 degrees over here. That's going to be the Somerset area, Somerset, Pennsylvania, 35 degrees. So still a little warm, which is good for Janet there, keeping that ice away and probably going to be giving them more rain. So that there's a pretty hard cut here. And where they think that ice and rain transition is going to be. But again, if you're in any of these areas here, you're looking at some serious icing as we go through the overnight hours and into the morning. So just taking a peek at the discussions here. No, just kind of going over some discussion about the storm here. This is a fast, rapid moving system. So it's going to be in here and out of here rather quickly, but not before dumping a ton of freezing rain on a large portion of these several states here. So now the big picture here that we kind of want to talk about is the next couple days. We do run the risk of another ice storm hitting the same areas going into Friday and to Saturday and Sunday as soon as this loads here. So let's look at timing on this before we start talking about that other storm. So here we are at 4 a.m. and you see that transition from freezing rain, sleet, freezing rain over to rain as we get close and into the morning hours tomorrow and through the day. Still some lingering showers here towards the afternoon and eventually clearing up. Probably, I would say by 5 to 7, you're clearing up there. Maybe some lingering lake effect snow showers there going into the overnight hours. Then again here, we are out to Saturday, I believe. Yeah, Saturday is going to be the 8th. So here we are out at Saturday. Again, another round of ice and freezing rain for these same areas. If you take a look here where we're at tonight, yet again, This large area not really extending down into this area quite as much as far as the freezing precipitation goes, but really, really hard hitting again in this Altoona area, Somerset, Pennsylvania. Those areas could see yet another quarter of an inch, up to a quarter of an inch of ice on those days as well. So we want to really pay attention to this storm here as we move. Again, this one, we're looking timing wise 4 to 7 p.m. on Saturday, working through the night, transitioning over to some rain a little bit on the back edge, and out of there by 7 a.m. But will definitely be a large snowmaker for the northeast portions, Massachusetts, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maine's getting into that snow as well. So yet another system. And then the GFS is again showing on the 10th a little bit of some snow bands here in the higher elevations of West Virginia and into the lower portions of Virginia as well, extending down into North Carolina a little bit there with some freezing precipitation as well. So that's out ahead of yet another storm that the GFS is picking up on. This one here looks to be primarily snow for Pennsylvania. You do get into that freezing precipitation in the lower ends of West Virginia as well, and down into Virginia and the mountains of North Carolina as well. So yet again, slammed again, and then right behind it, the GFS is picking up on yet another freezing precipitation as well. So we're getting pretty far out here. This is the 13th, so just take this with a grain of salt. This is only one model run, but the GFS is picking up. And then yet again, after that, out on the 14th, another round of freezing precipitation, whether it be snow or freezing rain at this point, too far out to determine. This one looks like the bulk of the storm wants to kind of stay centered up here over Michigan and the Michigan, Northern Ohio, Northern Indiana, and Illinois as well. So not a whole lot of a threat there really for Pennsylvania. Looks like on the back edge there, we get into a little bit of freezing precipitation for this same area, Altoona, Somerset. There's portions of Pennsylvania as well. So a lot to talk about here over the next several days as this linear flow here that we've got coming across the country is bringing a lot of those atmospheric rivers and those storm systems out in the west, slamming the country as they come across, kind of keeping the south right now. Down here in Myrtle Beach, we are looking very, I'm going to say this for now. I am looking at the possibility of some cold weather moving in, but again, too far out for me to call that right now. But we are looking relatively warm throughout the next couple weeks. Not anything extravagant like we're having this week, but definitely warm. And then again here, look at this Pennsylvania out here on the 19th. Another chance of snow as well. So, and then right behind it again, and that's as far as I get on this model run. So a lot of winter weather coming to the northeast as we move through the next couple weeks and through pretty much the middle. That'll take us out to the middle of February. But for now, our main risk is, and what we're really concerned about right now is this ice risk here right now. Take another peek at the Pittsburgh radar, and you can see temperatures are falling a little bit, still 35 out there, Somerset area. So we expect to see these bands of rain continue to switch over to that freezing rain and sleet as we move through the evening, eventually transitioning over to rain as we get into the morning hours around 9, 10 a.m. roughly. Let's switch back over here to our high-res reflectivity, check on the severe thunderstorm risk out here in Kentucky right now. Still nothing, no warnings. We haven't received any other warnings except for that original hail advisory that they put out several hours ago. But right now, nothing on the radar indicating anything significant at this point, which is great news for this area. Let's just get them through the overnight hours without any risks or threats occurring in those areas. So pretty much quiet as far as severe weather goes here in Kentucky and Tennessee. For the most part, Tennessee, you're pretty much clear. We'll switch over here to the Nashville radar and just check out behind and over to the Memphis radar. And I mean, we do have some cells looking like they want to develop out here in portions of western Tennessee. That'll eventually move up if anything develops there and continues to maintain. It'll be going up in towards the Bowling Green area as well. So right now, not a whole lot to really talk about as far as severe weather, which is great. It's great news for these areas. But we will definitely keep you updated with posts here as we go through the overnight hours. If anything significantly changes, I don't really see that happening too much here, but hopefully that this 5% does not happen. Still have that 2% area for tornadoes as well, and general thunderstorms all throughout this warm sector up into where we're transitioning over to that ice as well. So we'll keep a close eye on it for you. And we will be back again with some more storm coverage as we get closer to the Saturday evening range. And hopefully things will change a little bit here as far as ice accumulations for those areas going into the weekend. But I do think that this storm coming in for the weekend is going to have a larger impact than what this one is, leading to a lot more ice accumulation and more power outage risks and tree limbs and unsafe travel conditions leading into the weekend. So we will keep you updated on that as models come out for the next 24 hours. Too early for me to call any kind of accumulation at this point. Give me one more day on that and we'll start releasing some accumulation numbers. As far as back home here, we do have some showers working their way through the north central portions of the state up near the border belt. We can switch to local radar here in Myrtle Beach real quick and take a peek at what we've got going on. Nothing major here, but we do have those showers working their way through. So we'll switch to high res here and take a peek at them, but nothing major here. A couple showers are going to persist through the evening, and then eventually we're going to clear out for the morning, and we're going to have a very warm day tomorrow. So be super excited about that. Temperatures are going to be in the 70s tomorrow, so we're going to have a very enjoyable day tomorrow here. So a lot different story for these folks up here along this area here. So we'll keep them in our thoughts here as they go through the evening and overnight hours, and hopefully keep some of these accumulations down. But we will be back with an update for this weekend storm relatively soon. So if you don't like and follow our page, please like and follow so that way you can get notifications, as well as subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram as well. You can get notifications on Instagram as well when we post things. We do not go live on Instagram, but we definitely post there and post updates there as well. So you have multiple ways of communications and getting posts and updates from us. So please take advantage of that. Like and share our Facebook page, as that's our primary source of communication, and share it out with your friends so you can keep them aware as well. But other than that, that is about all I have for everybody this evening. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer them. And thanks for joining us.